Darcy Street. John Easton. Scotty. Nick Bennett. Ollie Maxwell. Will Darling. Noah Gardner. Cheers. Matt Lewis. Third Fletcher. Fabian Natoli. And Dave Abbott. We'll give Lil one as well. Four more, so Matt Chapman. Sammy Johnson. Greg. And Lindsay.
Photo, guys. People come in and present who trophies.
Boys in the back. Going to play. Boys in the back.
I will be kicking off in just a matter of minutes. From and for Clarence Zebras, Ali Berry, Georgia Bird, Eliana Diafucker, Zara Dixon, and a few.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Women's Summer Cup final between South Hobart and Clarence Zebras. I'm Andrew Cooling, bringing the action to you here this afternoon in what promises to be an intriguing match at the Theatre of Dreams. Already one final down here. Taruna triumphing in a penalty shootout over South Hobart in the championship final. So to the South Hobart women's side now, of course, lining up in all three finals here at Darcy Street today. South Hobart, they're having quite the pre-season, and they're looking to add some silverware today. Standing in their way, a team that knows a lot about winning trophies. The Clarence Zebras has been probably the most successful side in Tasmanian women's football over the last kind of 5-year period. They know how to win on these big occasions, and they've got some handy reinforcements coming into the side that did lose 4-0 to South Hobart early in the group stage of the Summer Cup. But when you bring back the likes of Berry, Dixon, Zoe Nichols, it might just change the equation a little today. So despite the heavy victory, hard to say who the clear favourite is either way today. It should be a cracking encounter. I'll run through the starting 11s for you before we get underway here. For the Clarence Zebras, number 7, Ali Berry, number 17, Georgia Bird, number 9, Eliana Diafucaris, number 15, Zara Dixon, number 14, Olivia Leon, number 12, Zoe Nichols. In goal, number 1, Casey Ponting. The captain, number 13, Taylor Rand. Number 6, Caitlin Stalker. Number 5, Georgia Stalker. And rounding out the 11 is number 18, Alicia Wilson. On the bench, Ava and Eliza Wiley, Anna Fuchs, Charlotte Fisher, and Grace Pollard. That is the Zebras line-up today, and their opponents, the South Hobart side, will be filled with confidence. As I said, a 4-0 victory when they met just a few weeks ago. Number 5, Ruby Batchelor leads the team off. Samantha Butler will be in net. Number 11, Mia Kane. A real speedster in attack. Bishon Choi, she knows how to find the goals too. Number 17, number 12, Bridie Cooling. Energetic in wide areas generally. Number 9, the big signing, Bonnie Davies, scored a hat-trick in that match. Has been the best striker in the state for a while now. Flash Davies, they call her. She is lightning fast and knows how to hit the back of the net. Zebras curtailing her influence may well be the key to the game today. The rest of the lineup, number 18, Ella McConnell. Number 4, Lucy Roberts. Number 10, Evie Swain. Number 3, Sophie Westwood. Number 7, Talia White. And number 16, Poppy Wood. Is on the bench, sorry, I've gone with 12 there. So, Nikki Mutsatsos, Monica Orlovsky, Isabella de Klerk, and Isabel Kane round out the sub offerings for South Hobart. So good depth for both of these sides. There's the team photos taken before kickoff. There is Ali Berry. What a star she has been. Erin Nichols coming into this front line for the Zebras will give them considerable more bite than they had last time they met. But the stage is set for an intriguing match. Really looking forward to this one. Two talented teams. They've been in good form obviously, throughout the Summer Cup to reach this final. They appear set to duke it out in the Super League this year as title contenders. The first chance for silverware comes here at Darcy Street in the Summer Cup final. We're underway in the Cup final as Westwood just unable to quite work that one to McConnell. See who settles better out of the two sides early on. You'd probably think Clarence Everest may have an advantage in that space. They are, after all, quite experienced in these cup finals, but some players in this South Hobart team have certainly had their share of big games. Bonnie Davies certainly looking forward to seeing what she can do. This one's knocked across to Ruby Batchelor, ever reliable at the back. They look to build through the middle of Darcy Street. Some slick passing to get us underway. It's a lovely through ball from White, broken up there by Dixon. So Zebras back on it. Their midfield general, Georgia Burt. How many years has she just been that reliable presence in central midfield? The metronome in there, just gets it, receives it, keeps it moving, just keeps things ticking along beautifully, Georgia Burt. So they look to press here. Just invites a slight miss kick, but it works out all right. Chipped over the top by White, trying to give something to chase there. And McConnell. Turning. How about looking to control possession early in this one? White on the ball early again. Driven forwards, searching for Mia Kane. Zara Dixon steering that one away, brought down by Dia Fakiris. Lofted forward. A cautious opening here from both sides in the first 2 minutes. Not unsurprising in a cup final. Certainly an early goal in the first final of the day. South Hobart striking in the opening moments of that one as Cooling forced on the defensive here, retreats back, and Butler steers that one away, just unable to keep it in the confines of Darcy Street. This game's being played here today rather than KG5, and off one, and glad to see it. It's got a better vibe of a football ground for me, this one, Darcy Street. Lovely boutique ground out in the background. Bit of a chilly day down here in Hobart as this one's lobbed forward. It bounces awkwardly. Not quite dealt with. A chance perhaps for Stalker. Couldn't quite make anything come of it, but a little bit of uncertainty there as the ball bounces in front of Alistair Russell, who's of course known for his successful tenure at the Olympia Warriors, now leading his South Hobart side. Through the middle, South looking to progress, but Zara Dixon, such a reliable presence. She's so tough to go past. Olivia Leon sending it out wide. Looking up, the pace here is Wilson, a quick throw taken, gains a few yards. Bird presenting short, but Wilson opts to go longer again. Dropping back into the space there was White. Put down by Roberts. Lofted forward, again broken up by Leon. Just whacked out of there by Pishon Choi, as you can see Bonnie Davies just on the shoulder of the last defender, Dixon. That's where she excels, making those runs. If she gets into a straight line foot race, no one's going to beat her. She'll just be hanging off that last defender wherever she can. Here's Choi, works it to Davies. Looks up and turns. Shot a little bit too much of it to Burt, but kept going. Beats one, beats two, and Dixon in the end just cuts her down rather cynically. Decided, no, we're not going to let her run any further. And a foul. The judge there, an easy decision. Absolutely nowhere near. Perhaps fortunate not to be booked there, Zara Dixon. Seemed rather professional, but gets away with it being the early moments. Roberts over the ball here. Casey Ponting getting a defence sorted. You just see a little chip into the box here. I opted to try and steer one in, but it's going to take more than that to test a goalie. of Casey Ponting's calibre. Here's Dixon. Oh, Darcy back pass invites some trouble here. Davies just losing her footing. Zebra's able to escape. Slightly dicey there from Zara Dixon, usually a bit of composure. Taylor Rand, a reliable part of that Zebra's midfield brigade. Stalker, trying to make some inroads down the right. That's well shut off down there though. Ruby Batchelor across to deal with it. Stalker. That one, yes, it did just rather drift out of play. So the throw in will go South Hobart's way. Coming together there, and another foul adjudged. A scrappy opening to this one so far. Play broken up with a few fouls. Hobart keen to take it quickly. Here's Bridie Cooling. We're out in front of White. Sends it wide. Connon. Both players appealing for it, but it's going to be first corner of the game going the way of South Hobart here. Roberts stride across to take it. Josh Berry, the man taking charge of this final. Alex Tween, Xavier Brodnell, and Amay Jambeka, his assistant and fourth official for this one. Here's Roberts across to take again. She steers this one in. It's a dangerous looking ball. Rand headed it, cleared away by Berry. One just unable to connect with Davies. And just about roll over the touchline there. So 7.5 into this one. No real chances for either side. Bit of a feeling out process going on thus far for both sides. So Hobart shading the possession and territorial battle just slightly. Nice turn there by Roberts, but showed a little bit too much of it to Georgia Bird. Here's Zoe Nichols. Haven't seen her involved yet. An absolute game breaker, Zoe Nichols. Now Ali Berry. Speaking of game breakers, and she rolls one through here. It's never really gave a teammate a play on that ball. Picked up by Butler. And the back pass perhaps been called here. Nichols certainly arguing the point. And that was rather sloppy, you've got to say. A bit lazy that from South Hobart, under no pressure whatsoever. They've knocked the pass back to the keeper, and Butler, I'm not sure why she's picked that ball up, but as Zoe Nichols points out, that is a fairly routine mistake. And Zebra's indirect free kick in the box. So perhaps the first opening of the afternoon here might come through slightly innocuous means. That was driven wide of the near post, but has taken a little touch, so it will be a corner. Georgia Bird across to take this one. So a little sloppy here from South Hobart. Drilled in, Cooling repels. We'll have another corner. Zebra's first real period of repeat attacks for the afternoon. I think Nichols just telling the keeper, you picked it up, you couldn't. She rolled it back to you. always forthright in getting a point across Zoe Nichols, as that's a rather poor delivery, that one. And so unfortunate to get another attempt at it. So repeat corners for the Zebras here, dialing up some pressure, but they're going to need slightly better delivery than that from Georgia Burt. Karis lurking, zonal marking system employed here by South. Keeper comes, gets two hands to it, couldn't gather it, but it's cleared away. Kept in by Burt. She'll want to shimmy onto the right. No, well aware of that South Hobart, but just running out of real estate there on the far touchline. Zebras, such big game experience in this side. I see Georgia Burt getting plenty of touches early on as Wilson throwing that one. She goes again. Big game now, some experience. Will that be the edge in this contest? Will it be youthful exuberance from South? This one's worked into space. Davies is fast, but she won't get there first. Getting there in front of it was Stalker. That was enough to draw the free kick. All she really needed to do there was just arrive first at the scene. Zara Dixon, a powerful boot, and tries to dissect something here. Almost spilled to Nichols. Cooling retreats back to the keeper. Around, Rand coughs it up softly there. Gave it straight to White, who sends it through for Davies. A first opening perhaps for Bonnie Davies, but just a bit too far out in front even for the fleet-footed Davies. Ponting was able to get there. Roberts chipping forwards. Dixon. Stalker. Stalker comes across trying to prevent the corner. Chance for South Hobart in on the attack. So they're able to do so, and Roberts will take the set piece here, and it's a good delivery. Ponting comes and doesn't get near it. Good ball that from Lucy Roberts. Swain, link up, Burt comes across, deflects, and a play, and we'll have another corner here. So South Hobart now with a period to probe away here. We expected a close encounter in this final. The early signs are that's exactly what we're going to get with an arm wrestle of a match thus far. And Roberts once more. Fizzes it in, it bounces around a sea of bodies, a deflection. And out for a goal kick. Wasn't initially dealt with particularly well on the Zebras' defence, but they recover to see it away. Grey skies here at Darcy Street. Slight wind advantage, as you can tell from the flag, coming the way of the Zebras just for the time being. Touch throw. Nichols can combine with Berry. Broken up by Batchelor. Berry looking to bustle her off it and do so. Berry flicks on cleverly. Well defended though. Cooling steering that one away. Here's Dixon. Didn't want to show too much of it to Davies there with open field in front of her. Stalker Rather aimless pass that, just not quite on the same page there. Georgia and Caitlin, the Stalkers, stalking down that right-hand side of the pitch. Donning the cap today, Butler, although not a lot of need for it in the time being. They've been a little untidy passing out from the back south, but hasn't given them any real trouble yet, although it might do now as Ali Berry pounces on. Squares it up for Rand, but just put it too far out in front of her. And now a chance for a counter-attack from South Hobart. And get that ball moving quickly. Pishon Choi charging up the pitch here. If they can find her in space, and they do. Cuts inside onto the right. She wants to find Davies, who bursts out after this one. There's Leon for company. Oh, that's well defended there. Stalker dealing with the threat of Mia Kane nicely. Stalker. This time, Caitlin variety doing some nice work further up the field and wins the throw in for her side. Quarter of an hour ticked by the first half here of the Women's Summer Cup final. So Hobart and Clarence Zebras, no real chance for either side thus far. It's the dangerous Zoe Nichols. So good at that turn and controlling the ball in one motion. Nightmare for defenders to mark. Here's Burt. Moves it across for Rand. Rand centering ball, broken up. So Hobart's defence has been compact, it's been organised, and it's been able to deal with whatever's come their way thus far. Shipped forward by Stalker. Berry looking to make things happen, and she might have, because here's an opening here for Diafakiris. It's first blood to the Clarence Zebras. Eliana Diafakiris pounces on the loose ball, hammers it home. And it's the Zebras who take a 1-0 lead in the cup final. Eliana Diafakiris has been in good goal scoring form throughout this pre-season. Berry just chipping it through, and ultimately there, McConnon nowhere near her. Couldn't get back to her with all that time and space. She was never going to miss. And Diafakiris has the Zebras off and running. First chance, first goal. And the Zebras, well, I did say added some firepower into this lineup since that 4-0 defeat earlier in the pre-season. There's an example of it. Perhaps so worried about the threat of Berry, Diafakiris was able to slip out the back unmarked. Mia Kane looking for an instant response. Oh, it's beautifully defended by Leon though. Took that one away from Davies, curtailing her influence nicely. Now a long ball in the Stalker direction. Shows a great burst of pace. Stalker, she's hauled down. Referee has a decision to make. Was it the striker or defender who hauled it down? Well, it's just going to be a free kick to the Zebras. No card, I suppose. Cooling coming back as the second defender. Saving her, but big decision for the referee to make there. And probably a good result for South Hobart to just concede the free kick and not concede the card. Driven into the wall. And thumped away. It's the Zebras with a bit of confidence. Their tails up perhaps at the moment here. Chipped up. Dixon moves it down. Stalk up. Here's Lucy Roberts. And punches that one out. Nice crisp pass to Choi. It's perhaps just anticipating a run from Davies, but she's on her heels. Looking a little tired, has been charging all around the pitch. There's a chance now, perhaps opening up at the other end on the counter for the Zebras. Stalker charging out after this one. Batchelor taking her to the byline and puts it behind for a corner. But the Zebras have certainly turned the screws a little here in the last few minutes. They've dialed it up and starting to really exert some pressure on this South Hobart defence. So rain, a factor, certainly not the nicest of days. Really the images you might conjuring for a Summer Cup final. As Georgia Bird comes across to take. Chips this one in. Keeper fists it away only so far as Berry! Good save, getting down Butler. Keeps out Berry's drive. That could easily have been 2-0 here. Ali Berry, dangerous player, swooping on that in the box. She drove it. And the keeper's made a fantastic stop there, Samantha Butler. Stalker. Berry turning sharply. Rolling it through, again away by Bridie Cooling. Yeah, really under pressure at the back at the moment, South Hobart, as the rain gets heavier. Brandon Wilson. Rand swinging it forwards, looking for Stalker, finding Stalker. It's just over the top. It was a difficult chance on the volley. What a glorious ball from Taylor Rand, chipping it over the defence. Takes the defenders out of the equation. And she just needed a feather touch there. Caitlin Stalker just needed to steer it. The keeper wasn't stopping it. Couldn't keep it down. A very tough chance, it should be said, on the volley. Just needed a little piece of it though. Oh, and a nutmeg of Nichols. That was dicey too. Looking a little uncertain at the back here, South Hobart. Here's Bishon Choi. Can they get something going at the other end? They'll chip one forwards here for Mia Kane to run onto. Kane can go one way then the other, but it was nicely defended by Stalker. And just leaving a little in there was Kane, so the free kick is blown. So trying to build from the back, South Hobart pressing up to try and force the turnover and do so nicely. Swain looking to make something happen, but multiple defenders to beat. Still going though, Swain, doing nicely. Eventually it's going to be brought back and free kick blown. Lucy Roberts across to take. Roberts ends it in, just over the head of Davies, who went flying through the air. Tremendous leap. He's Cooling. Takes a moment to control. Shifts it across. Wilson. Berry. Sending it through for Stalker, but Cooling across to cover. Butler. Now Choi. It's looked good when she's been able to get on the ball, Pishon Choi. One of the more lively players for South, but she's run into trouble here. Taylor Rand picking a pocket, sends it across to Nichols. Cleverly held off playing the ball there because her teammate was offside. And then unfortunately, when she did play the ball, her other teammate had strayed offside. Neither of fellow attackers just able to hold their runs there. Zoe Nichols. Chipped for Choi. Choi combining down the left with Ruby Batchelor. Davies wants the ball played into the channel. That's where she goes. And she gets there, somehow kept it in. I thought it was out of play, and indeed the flag is up from the referee. Not allowed to continue there. Just Quite spotting the AR's flag there. She almost got there, Bonnie Davies. Just trickling out of play first. A slightly better ball. Down in front of it, she's going to be a threat. She is perhaps a player in this South Hobart lineup who can get them back into this one, who can steal a goal against her run of play. The Zebras do push up too far and leave space in behind. That will invite danger. Dixon just on the shoelace of Casey Ponting. Chase after that one there. It's Dia Fakiris. Now that teaming down here at the moment. Conditions. Most pleasant of weather. Wilson lobs it in, headed away there by Talia White. Swain controlling, but shielded by Bird. Shoot forward for Davies. Scored the ball, but allowed in Olivia Leon, who drives it forward, cooling, rugged as ever. Smashes that one away. And a lot of work at the back so far. Righty Cooling from South Hobart, covering plenty of territory. Making their way to the right here is Sophie Westwood, experienced player. Relatively young, but she's been in the South Hobart setup for a number of years now. The South looking to make some inroads here. Well, doesn't really clear it, and then Dixon heads it backwards, but it'll work out all right. Ponting able to come across and claim. Into the middle, looking for Nichols. Smashed up in the air. Will come down with snow on it. Players under the ball there. Dixon rather working Davies underneath it. Into space for Choi to give chase to it, and it's there first. Rolls it back. Nice play there. Finds Lucy Roberts. Roberts will return the ball to Choi. In the end, amounts to nothing. To say the Zebras' defence shackling South Hobart pretty well so far. They're not finding a whole lot of room. They're not able to get these passing combinations going when they hit the final third. And Dixon firmly on top, as it looks like movement on the bench here for the first time this afternoon. Grace Pollard replacing Caitlin Stalker. Six subs in the Summer Cup, I believe, and I think can come back on unless that's changed. Westwood. Cooling across to Batchelor. Batchelor into space for Choi. And then Georgia Stalker first to the ball. A freaking battle between those two. Batchelor. Roberts. Slightly miscontrolled, but we'll get back on it. Rand. Just clearing the area, cooling acres of space back there. Everyone pushed up to the half of the field. Nichols just leaving a bit in the area on Roberts, and for a calm down, not necessary. Allow the defence to reset. Roberts wants to take it short. And Batchelor combined. And next little 1-2. Cooling chipping it out wide. Couldn't find McConnell. Struggling to create just at the moment here. South Hobart. There he is by a goal, courtesy of Eliana Diafakaris. Cooling, moves it forward, and it's a great ball, and first time finished at level. Something out of nothing. How do you like that? Mia Kane swooping on a long ball. And from absolutely nowhere, South Hobart have drawn level in this one. Cooling, a fantastic ball over the top. And Kane gets on top of it and squares it up with their first chance. 1-1. It was just a lofted ball. The defence didn't deal with it, allowed to bounce, and a great first-time finish. Not well dealt with there by Stalker. And would you believe, South Hobart, in the blink of an eye, have pulled themselves level. They have not looked like creating a thing through 30 minutes in this one. A few corners tested early. But a moment of brilliance there. Great ball over the top from Cooling, but questions must be asked, I think, of the Zebras' defence. Bit of ball watching perhaps going on there. Allowed the ball to bounce in the area. Fantastic finish from Kane. Now, they conjure an immediate response. So 1-1 the score in the Summer Cup final. Okay, just starting to wonder how South were going to break down this Zebras defence. Route 1 was the answer. And the Zebras haven't got themselves a corner here. So the rain continues to pour. It was a great finish too from Kane. First time hit. Hammered it past Ponting, gave her no chance. Here's Choi. Sends it down the line for the goal scorer Kane. Set her too much of a task though. She's speedy, but she's not quite that speedy. She knows. Just going to hit that one a tad. Choi squares it to Swain. White driving that one. Well wide of Casey Ponting's net. Stalker, pressured by Kane. Composed ball to Pollard, but robbed of it by Choi, who in turn wins it back. Berry trying to find Nichols, couldn't do so. Well done there by Cooling, marking it tightly. Davies, well defended by Olivia Leon. Diafakaris turns it over to Roberts. McConnell. Berry takes a tumble. Referee not interested. Might be a foul by McConnell. Swing down the play. Forward looking Diafakaris. Nichols. Wilson. Cooling and Nichols. Two tough customers there, the number 12s. Enjoying that battle between those two. Customers who won't take a backward step. As Davies was coming back from an offside position. Done a pretty good job curtailing her influence thus far, have the Zebras. As conditions continue to worsen and make life difficult for everyone here. Quite a heavy pitch by the end of this one, although given the time of year in pretty nice condition is the Darcy Street deck, as you can see. Didn't envisage too many problems with the surface. As usual, looking a treat early in the season. Here is Ali Berry bustling away up against Cooling, controlling it. Foot in from the South Hobart defender to take it away from her. Wilson. Nichols nodding on. Initially cleared. The second attempt. Invites in Georgia Birch. Shields the ball. Waits for some support. Back to Wilson. Turned it over. Colin giving a good chase, and in the end, has done really well to win a throw for his side. Not the result Olivia Leon was after. Davies looking to turn, but yeah, Zara Dixon whacks it away. Play allowed to continue there. Thought it might have been a foul by Talia White, but she progresses forwards. Trying to get around the outside of Leon, and then rather sides her down, knowing she wasn't going to get there. A little unnecessary, that one. There's a foul for the referee to call, right under the AR's nose. They'll take it quickly. Put it to Wilson. Opposite forward, keep it in though. Swain, Connon, falls for Berry, slides it through for Nichols, sliding in was Taylor Ann to get there first, trying another volley was Kane, didn't quite make the connection this time around. Stalker, Rand, all over the top, but Cooling sweeping across in defence again. Batchelor. Lee Berry. Lucy Roberts was there for South. Here's Pishon Choi. Roberts. To the middle for White. White works it to McConnell. McConnell retreats back. The cross comes in, but Leon was there for the Zebras. Zebras not really pressing up the pitch at all here. Quite content just to sit back and let South play onto them. And steers it across. A poor ball though this time. Looking up by Pollard. Choi Roberts win it back for South. Batchelor. And just a bit of a holding pattern here at the moment. The team really looking to take too many risks or leave much space at the back. Batchelor being broken up. 5 minutes plus change remaining in the first half here. Can't imagine there'll be too much stoppage time. And being notable stoppages in this one. Spans 30 seconds each for the two goals. Standard minute. Here's the goal scorer, Kane. Chip one in, Dixon was there. Roberts trying to control, but Berry steering away from her. Nichols with two to contend with again, as has often been the case. And the ball's been played her way today. Here's Batchelor. Roberts. South again content just to patiently knock the ball around at the back, and the Zebras have certainly not been pressing with much intent so far throughout much of the half. Happy to kind of sit back and fill spaces and say, well, can you pass your way through us? And generally that's where they've been winning the ball back and breaking down. It was just something from nothing. South Hobart's goal, Cooling just lofting one over the top. Well, to be fair, the Zebras really haven't created a whole lot themselves since they took the lead in this game. They've shown a heap of attacking intent at all. It's been a fairly dour defensive display, this one, which you'll often see in the cup finals. We'll see if it opens up at all in the second half with some tired bodies. And, okay, apparently Summer Cup's 40-minute halves, and they've not informed the commentator. Either that or we've got a very different timekeeping to what our clock said. Either way, half-time has been called here at Darcy Street. 1-1 the score. South Hobart pulling it back. Mia Kane cancelling out Dio Fikaris' opener. So, a pretty dour affair thus far. Very few chances to speak of, but the two good chances that did arrive both resulted in goals. So we'll leave you with the highlights of that. Half-time at Darcy Street in the Summer Cup final. It's South Hobart 1, Clarence Zebras 1.
Thank you. Thank you. You were on. You were there on. Lovely. Yeah, go on. Yeah, we're just. Yeah, I'll pack you take this. I'll pack you. I don't know. Well, you can stand up and stuff. What else? Yeah, whatever then. Yeah. Like I said, gentlemen. Oh shit, James is coming to do. You know, really? Yeah, Fletcher's arriving with the girlfriend and he's driving with them out there. That's somewhere in Tasmania. Grayson or something, and he's popping the police in and that's about it. Because they've already we've booked the reception, but we're having the party on the engagement place. It's only a week. James is coming out and he's going to work. Yeah, he works on the computer in his house. So why can't he work on the computer at home? Yeah, something like that. No, he's got his own job. So he's arriving early Thursday morning. No, just really school holidays. That's right. They've got a wedding next week. It's like my heart. So he said to Ashley, you and Tyler are going to mathematics. All right. That's huge. And remember Anna in the good. Oh, he must be.
And we're back for the second half. Have got confirmation that we are playing 40-minute halves and just a 10-minute break in between. So slightly revised conditions for this other Gaffer Zoe Nichols. Helping Casey Fontaine get her glove back on there. Easy to get Cal Dance's keeper there today. Tough conditions for both glove women. Butler and Ponting haven't had to do a heap. Butler made one fantastic save to keep it at 1-0. It could yet prove pivotal, especially as South Hobart took their chance to get back a level. So to the second half here, and an early opening perhaps for Ali Berry. Took the shot on early, might have been better off just trying to pick out Stalker crashing at the back post. So the rain well set in here at Darcy Street as the second half begins. Roll through for Davies. Retreats back. Swain. Knocked off there. Roberts first to the ball, buffeted by Nichols. And takes it forward, rolls it through. Nice little 1-2 played there with White. Now Roberts bending it back just in behind Davies. It was a dangerous ball. Promising play there from South Hobart. As we see the tail end of the celebration of Mia Kane's first half equaliser. Really did come out of nowhere, but that was a nice little piece of play there. Lucy Roberts jumping up and driving into the attack. Connon on short, but I reckon Roberts will opt to just swing it in herself. She's been delivering them pretty well today, and that's a teasing ball in. Headed away by Dixon. Connon getting in there. Cooling. Bounces in, they've got it! I think it's Kane again! It's South Hobart who burst out of the blocks in the second half of the Summer Cup final. And they have taken the lead here. Steered home, it wasn't at all well dealt with there. So we see the ball coming back in, Cooling just putting into a dangerous area. I think Kane has got the slightest of touches on it. Just a little piece. Ponting unable to keep it out. Chaos in the box, and South Hobart lead this game 2-1. And the Zebras are going to need to kick into gear, because really well, they took the lead in the first half. They didn't create a whole lot. South have kept pushing. And they've started this half brightly, an early strike. And now Kane has two. So, South Hobart. Response from them. Now it's the Zebras. We know we've got plenty of big game experience. We'll need to dig into those recesses here and find spark. South, look, they were out before the Zebras. They were lined up and ready to play about 2 minutes before the Zebras trotted back out of the pitch, and they brought that attitude with them too. A great intent to start this second half, and now the lead in this game. Oh, not dealt with, invites in danger here. Zoe Nichols. Oh, nicely done. Cooling gets back in the space. Just takes it away from her at the last second. Defended stoutly about this one, Bridie Cooling. No relation whatsoever. Just enjoying her game. As it's like, I'm going to say, a substitution here for South Hobart. Looking at Sutsos, I think, coming on. That one's put behind. was Kane who was replaced. Pulled up a little lame after that goal as this one's swung into the area. Keeper comes out commandingly to punch. Chipped back in like Burt. Stalker couldn't find the header. Half-hearted shouts for a handball. Nothing doing. Satsos. Able to get that. Here's Ali Berry. Always a danger, but pulling first to the football on this occasion. Thrown into the box. Sartsos knocks it back and it's clattered well out of there and into the path of Pishon Choi. And Choi plays a brilliant raking ball through the middle. It springs with Sartsos across the body. Davies! I think the flag might have been raised. Indeed it has. Unfortunately, she knew it. Sartsos playing it. Davies wasn't quite ready. I think she knew as soon as she hit it. It was a lovely counter-attacking move. Superb ball through the middle there. Choi. South Hobart suddenly looking the better side out here and looking in command. It's going to take a response here from the Zebras. Away from Berry. Stalk up. Defended, so Mia Kane double has South Hobart leading 2 goals to 1. If you're wondering about the disparity in time that you're seeing there, the 2 clocks on your screen at the moment, both basically meaning the same thing. We're playing 40-minute halves, which our setup's not quite prepared for. So this one's rolled through and across to Bonnie Davies, who squares a wonderful ball. It's a big chance! It's 3-1! It's buried by Talia White. It was slick ball movement from South Hobart, end to end in the blink of an eye. And Davies cuts it back for White, who absolutely buries it. And this Zebras defence is being picked apart in the second half. This is some wonderful football from South Hobart. And a 3-1 lead. What a ball from Davies. Put it on a platter, had time to take a touch. Composure with the finish. Talia White makes it 3-1. This is sensational football from South. They're running riot. They took a little while to get going here, but boy are they producing some good stuff now. And an absolute mountain to climb for the Clarence Zebras, and making matters even worse for where Casey Ponting appears to have pulled up a bit sore from that. And we'll see if she's going to be right to continue, but he might be forced into a goalkeeper swap. So we'll have a look at the goal highlights while we have this stoppage. This was how it began, and this is when the Zebras were seemingly in control of the game. They were having better of it early on. Berry slid it through for Dia Fakiris, who made no mistake. Would have been 2-0 if not for a great save from Samantha Butler shortly after, but really as the game was kind of drifting a little, nothing happening. Cooling played this ball into the box, somehow escaping unmarked. Don't allow the ball to bounce in the air. Wonderful finish from Mia Kane. that pulled them back to 1-1 really from out of nowhere. And from that moment onwards, South Hobart have been the much better side, and they've started this second half superbly. Just a bit of a chaos ball back in, again cooling the supplier. I'm pretty sure Kane got a trickle on that one for her second of the afternoon. That made it 2-1. They had the ball in the back of the net again moments later, only to be denied by the offside flag. Davies was denied on that occasion. She then turned provider, slides this one across to Talia White. It's 3-1. That's also how you can see Ponting's come off worse for wear. But South Hobart have been absolutely scintillating to open this second half. And they lead it 3-1. Now the clock, which I was touching on before all that excitement happened, should basically read 50 minutes. Subtract 5, and we're only playing to 80. Apologies, can't do anything about that. It's pre-programmed software we're using here that's not used to 80-minute football. Can't say I am either. But basically, 85 minutes will be the end line of this one, with the clock you're seeing on your screen. So half an hour to play plus stoppage time. You'll imagine there's going to be a bit of stoppage time after this stoppage here. But it looks like we're finally going to be right to continue. And with that 30 minutes to play, the Clarence Zebras are going to have to get very busy very quickly, because they are in trouble and in danger of sinking fast. McConnell. Will they be able to respond? We know they're a champion side. They've won trophies routinely down the years. But themselves in a bit of a hole at the moment. Here's Zoe Nichols. She can certainly spark a fight back. Tried to slide it through. Cooling broke that up. And steers it away again. It's curtailed the threat of Nichols pretty well throughout this match. Another stoppage here. Opting for safety first again. Trying to keep it in with Stalker. Didn't quite do so. The electronic scoreboard, a new addition I believe at Darcy Street. Very, very schlick. Suggesting there's a bit of an international soccer superstar vibe about it, for those familiar with that from back in the day. So this one's cleared into touch. It'll be interesting to see if South do opt to defend and sit back a little bit more. Kane being replaced by Mitsatsos, and that was perhaps injury related more than tactical, but we'll see if that changes their approach at all. They dig in and look to just protect this lead, or whether they keep playing the way they have started this second half, which is seeing them really jump, the Zebras. They're unable to handle them at the back. The defence has really struggled with them. That was nice from Stalker, but she's going to run out of room. We'll get the throw in, however. And the Zebras find some inroads. Here's Zoe Nichols, lofts it into the box. Should be the keepers. Butler collects confidently. And roll that one across. They've been absolutely dynamite on the counter this half, but just showing way too much of it there. On this occasion was McConnell to Berry. They recover the situation. A good scrap in midfield between Swain and Burt. One by Swain. He looks to set it out in front of Mutsatsos. But Wilson will cross to deal with that. And she'll win the throw in too. Berry nodding on. Safety first from Sophie Westwood on this occasion. Wilson going up and under. Spins and eventually brought down by Cooling, who didn't really clear the area this time. It works out all right though, because it landed into the path of McConnell, who bounds into space. Ran did well just to impede her process though. Followed by Batchelor, but a bit aimless there, and Stalker plays it off Choi and into touch.
We're just sitting up there.
So can the Zebras find something here as they chase the game? 2 goals in arrears. They led this game a goal to nil, and only a brilliant piece of keeping from Samantha Butler that saw it remain 1-0. So easily have been 2. Berry looked for all money to have scored. What a sliding doors moment that now becomes. It's the value of a good keeper. Might not be involved as frequently as other positions, but it's often those most decisive of moments. They need to be standing up and counted. And Butler absolutely answering the call for her side in this first half. Crucial she made that stop. Being pressured here by Nichols, sliding in. And we'll get a free kick. A little bit of contact. It's perfectly within her right to go for the ball though there, Nichols. Closing down the keeper. They have caused a little uncertainty at times, the Zebras. I'm surprised they haven't pressed more, to be honest. They've been quite content to sit back and defend. Perhaps not wanting to leave that space in behind for the likes of Davies and Kane, is the thinking, but Southampton looked a little troubled, I thought, when they've really pressed up and tried to stop them playing out. But that is some nice work here that springs Pish on Choi. Zara Dixon shutting it down. Roberts. Across to the goal scorer, Watt. Now McConnell in space. She bends one in. Ponting spills it. Had time to recover, however. Ponting. For Roberts. Choi. Broken up by Stalker. Shifted wide. The Stalker of the Caitlin variety. And rolled a clever ball through for Berry, and Berry's on here. She charges past Cooling. Here's a chance perhaps for the Zebras. It was a poor ball though. Needed to work it wide. Had Dia Fakiris in space, who was able to get back on it in the end and bend one in, but no trouble whatsoever for Butler. So 57-50 by now. Nearing the halfway mark of this second half. 40-minute halves, of course. And those just tuning in, subtract 5 off of our clock. Apologies for that. Here's McConnell. With Satsos. Roberts. The ball. Found Pish on Choi in space. Choi. Around her marker though, it was well dealt with. We look to the bench, it looks like some action here on the Zebras interchange. Eliza Wiley set to be introduced. And we'll be replacing Pollard or Dia Fakiris. Not even Dia Fakiris. So, Zebras on their bench to try and spark something here. It was Pollard, rather, who was replaced. Oh no, as this one's driven in just wide of the post. Trying to find some inspiration here quickly, the Clarence Zebras. Where it's going to be South Hobart celebrating a cup triumph to kick off the season. Westwood. Oh, nice ball from Davies, combining with McConnon. McConnon swinging it in. One at the back post. It found its way through to Choi. Punches one deflected awkwardly. Jeez, Dixon doing no favours for Casey Ponting there. In the end, did well to bring it under a spell. They have looked quite dicey at the back in this second half, the Zebras. She's something you normally associate with them. There's no Maddie O'Brien this year, has been a staple of that defence for many years. And capable in midfield too, but here's South Hobart driving the attack once more. Mutsatsos up against Dixon. Oh, a little nutmeg there, very nice from Mutsatsos. Crosses in, it's well dealt with by Wilson, nicely done, steers it away. South take back over. Cooling combining with Westwood. Swain looking to find Westwood. But Leon was there to break that up. 20 minutes plus stoppage time to go. The Women's Summer Cup final. South Hobart leading 3-1. There'll be absolutely no rush to be taking throws from this point on, I would have thought. Up every moment they can. A bit of gamesmanship, perhaps. Will be what the situation calls for. A bit of game management. See if the young South Hobart side have mastered those skills yet. Cooling has been fantastic today, but that was a very dodgy back pass for Butler. Fortunately, had plenty of time and space to recover. Westwood under some pressure here. Scrapping away there was Wiley, the substitute. McConnon works it forward. Tassos and Davies just not quite on the same page as each other there, both going for the same ball. The new teammates perhaps not quite there just yet. Come. There's Westwood working it back to White. A composure on the finish for that third goal. And he's quite content just to knock it all the way back to the keeper. Why not? Eat some minutes up. Force the Zebras to chase the football. Here's Mutsatsos. Turning into the bullseye and turning into trouble. And Taylor Rand showing good strength. Works it across to Stalker, chips it into Nichols. Oh, she was in acres of space in the middle of the park. The offside flag, I think, had gone up. Which will mean it doesn't matter, but a slightly better ball was required. She had time and space in the middle there, Nichols. But it would have been for naught anyway. Stalker. The Stalkers combining. They've coughed it up though. Hobart back on the ball. Here's Pishon Choi. Cooling getting the ball caught between her feet there, inviting in the dangerous Nichols. Oh, nicely done. Skillful stuff there. And they spring it into a counter. No, they can't. And they will win the ball back. Oh, danger as Berry's lurking. That's surely handball against Berry. Keeper again, just thumping it away. Swain just whacks it forward to Davies. It was a good ball. Worked it back to McConnon, who's grown into this contest nicely. He's been really good in the second half. Ella McConnon, she's off to the races once more. Played the early ball this time. Oh, and then gets the better of a marker. A chance for another cross. This one was well charged down though. Zebra's defence slamming the elevator door shut just in time. McConnon doing a mountain of work down this right-hand side and making some really good inroads too. Fine display from her. Thrown in. McConnon once more. Batchelor worked it to Roberts. Worked it to Choi. Broken up by Berry. defensive work, but it's the other end of the pitch. They're going to need their talisman's impact. Now perhaps an opening for Stalker. She's got two in support. It's Nichols and Wiley. But it's nicely defended once more in the corner only. The ball played in, couldn't beat the first defender in Lucy Roberts. Georgia Burt now on it. Shut down by Moutsatsos, who's had an impact since coming on, the fresh legs of Nikki Moutsatsos. She's on the ball here, can she pick a pass? She drives it down the line to Davies. Oh, he's coming back from an offside position. A little slack on that occasion, the star striker. Here's Rand. Good ball from Taylor Rand. Stalker. Now this is where they've been breaking down. Can they find the final ball this time? Stalker trying to go around the outside of Cooling, but once again it's beautifully defended by the young South Hobart defender who's been so impressive today. And Roberts just showing good composure. Just no, she was well on the ball at the moment. Hold things up a little. Oh, Moutsatsos, good use of the body there. Opens up some space for Eve Swain. It's Evie Swain. She drives onto the right. She's got McConnell in space on the right. Davies arriving at the back post. It's Davies. Well defended. Shouts for handball, though. It did roll up the arm. Oh. Mind another look at that one.
What was it? Handball.
Oh, dearie me. A fair shout there. I mean, she could have done, but roll up. Strike the underneath of the arm, there's no doubt. Nothing doing, says the referee. Play continues. Roberts rather pushed there. And Taylor Rand can argue the point all she likes, but you can't just push someone over. It was pushing motion. So, now 13 minutes of regulation time remain. There will be some stoppage time. We had a fairly long break after the fourth goal of the match, and that's a wasted ball. The Zebras need to find something, and they need to find it quickly, because right now they are not looking particularly likely, it must be said. Now, South Hobart will go to the bench, and Sophie Westwood will be replaced by Monica Orlovsky. Cooling punches it forward. Too much purchase on that one, and Ponting will collect. Where's the spark going to come from for the Clarence Zebras? Ali Berry, probably the obvious name. Such a match winner they have in their ranks. Zoe Nichols probably the other one. They've been well held by this South Hobart defence though. Don't need to find a rabbit to pull out of the hat here. The Zebras. South Hobart have completely dominated this second half. In the opening moments, they've been the more switched on, more positive side. They've thoroughly outplayed them. Not necessarily the case in the first half. Here's Taylor Rand. And again, we'll retreat all the way back to Butler. Oh, Butler gets herself into all sorts of trouble. Zoe Nichols bustling after it, got to it. Nichols gains a composure, slides it to Berry, who fired it straight at Butler. And what a glorious opportunity that was for the Clarence Zebras. And it's one that's gone to waste. They got themselves in all sorts of trouble at the back here, South Hobart. Butler, fortunate. It was a poor ball straight into Nichols, who tried to get her balance and get onto the right, doing just enough to put her off, I reckon, Orlovsky, but in the end, still, the chance came to Berry, and a player of Ali Berry's calibre, you just expect to see that deposited into the back of the net. And it makes you wonder if this isn't going to be the Zebras' day. Hard to see them scoring twice if they're passing up with opportunities like that, but it does show how quickly things can change. A sloppy back pass, and it could have been cut back. The 3-2, or rather, forward pass after the back pass. Here's Berry, looking to make an impact all the same. Cooling opts not to go back to the keeper this time and just turns away from Nichols and carries out of defence nicely, Righty Cooling. And she lofts it across in the Mutsatsos direction. Has Wilson for company. Wilson being for the safety of the touchline. The speed with which they've transitioned out of defence into attack has been impressive in this second half. Perhaps the wind playing a role in that. We've certainly seen them really moving the ball with much greater purpose than we did in the first 40 minutes. And has them on the cusp of a victory, is just not quite on the same page there for Orlovsky and White. Alistair Russell sending his substitutes for a few run-throughs. We'll see if they help for some more fresh legs to close this game out. They're allowed to continue. Swain fell in the end to Roberts. Broken up though by Stalker. Batchelor, see that one out of play. The Zebras, it's approaching kitchen sink time here for the Clarence Zebras. Cooling again, takes it away from Berry. Free kick's been blown, has it? Well, better than a throw in and an opportunity for Georgia Bird to get to work over the dead ball. Plenty of bodies up there. Getting towards that time, but a great free kick, easily dealt with by White. Davies going to turn into space and use her leg speed. She chipped it forwards. Pick it up in the end. Davies. And they'll feed it to McConnon down the right once more. She's been tireless down this flank as Ella McConnon. Hadolovsky instead went centrally to Swain. Swain squares it up for Roberts. Roberts just not on the same page. Strikers there. She just chipped one. They're probably expecting the long range shot. Looking to follow that up. As we look to the bench again, I think some more action on the touchline. Looks like Olivia Leon will be replaced for the Zebras. And Anna Fuchs is coming on for her. Fresh legs at the back. It's at the other end of the pitch where they need to make an impact if they're claw their way back into this one. Not too long remaining. 6 minutes 40 of the regulation time, and then what I expect will be a few added minutes in the long stoppage after goal number 4. Here's Pishon Choi. Chips it towards Rand, who heads it away. Roberts. White, Roberts charged down by Dixon, Swain. Back to White. Nice ball to Mutsatsos. Trying to combine with Evie Swain. Connon in there. Taylor Rand. Nichols. A great battle between the number 12s, but it's been the number 12 in red who's taken the honours. Well, she's buffeted her off on this occasion, but determined and ever won it back and turned it into a great through ball. Well, that just sums up the attitude. Righty Cooling. A dog with a bone this afternoon. It's just been absolutely tenacious. This one's worked across to Batchelor. Choi. Oh, pish on Choi if you don't mind. Stylish. Down the wing, beating one. Really let the attacking instincts flow in this second half, South Hobart. Some nice moments. And another one developing here as McConnell gets on it. As Mutsatsos in support, but play it back centrally. Here's Swain. Swain across to Talia White. Talia White skins a defender, charges in the box. Can she pick someone out? She could only find Ponting. Squares it back. Mutsatsos back to Swain. Great save, Ponting. Kept it out and keeps a flicker alive for the Zebras, but they are barely holding on right now. Here's White once more. Mutsatsos away by Dixon. Roberts lofts it. No one gets there, and it slides all the way through to McConnell. McConnell from the angle rockets it into the post, and then the follow-ups over the top. Wow, she's been well worthy of a goal. Her performance in this second half, Ella McConnell, she has got him behind time and time again, and just opted to try and catch Ponting by surprise. Might have just got a little flicker on it to take it onto the bar there, Ponting. Either way, in the range 3-1 as a double sub is pulled from South Hobart. Looks like Poppy Wood and Isabella de Klerk coming on. Swain and Choi coming off. In the third one there, I missed, but dying embers of this one now. Looking at the clock. Not too long left. We're only playing 40-minute halves. We've gone 36 and a half in this second half, so 3 minutes 20 plus stoppage time remaining for the Zebras to find 2 goals, and they've not looked like scoring all half really. One glorious opportunity came after a pass from the keeper. Ali Berry with a chance, but fired it straight at the keeper. Really beyond that, they've not created anything of their own. It's been all South Hobart. It's been a red wave here at Darcy Street in the second half. Attack after attack. They've piled bodies forward and they've picked this Zebras defence apart. It would be a major turn up if they weren't to hold on from this point. They look to just eat up the final minutes. They're in no rush to take this corner. No rush whatsoever. As Lucy Roberts, the skipper, has been a warrior in midfield for them today. Crossed in. To Clerk. Clerk trying to skew one through, couldn't quite. Pulling. Sliding that one well wide, so not long left. I'm not sure I've seen a whole lot of belief in this Zebras lineup that suggests to me they're capable of finding 2 goals. A great performance from South. A little slow out of the blocks, a little dour in the first half, but maybe given the wind conditions, that was the shrewd tactical play, and then they've really opened things up in this second and made life very tough for the Zebras. Can they find the exclamation point? Mutsatsos! Oh, Ponting slides out, gets a foot on it. They've been threatening to score a 4th really for the last 10 minutes. They've been knocking on the door. Haven't quite found it. Casey Ponting has been busy. She's made some good stops. And it has been all up the right end of the pitch as far as the hosts are concerned. They may not have won the championship final earlier, but they're about to get their first piece of silverware of the day, it seems. There's a chance for another one later, and they play Kinder Lions in the NPL final part of this big triple header, but the Women's Super League Summer Cup final looks like it's going to be South Hobart. They were tipped to be big improvers this year, and wow, what a way to announce that Summer Cup triumph, and I just hope it hasn't been soured by a late injury here, because that would be heartbreaking if they were He's got a nasty injury right at the end of this one. I hope this is just soaking up the clock. Fingers crossed. Giving the way, going back to her feet. Fingers crossed here for Poppy Wood, who's had just an awful run of injuries. I mean, as unlucky a run as anyone with injuries. And that is not a sight you want to see. Souring it a little bit as Westwood comes back on. So fingers crossed for a player who's had a truly shocking run of it. If anyone ever deserved a good run, it would be Poppy Wood. So fingers crossed that's nothing that's going to delay the start of a Super League season, as we've now ticked past the regulation 40 in the second half. We're playing 40-minute halves, so there's just stoppage time remaining now. And then, barring something remarkable, South Hobart will be hoisting the trophy. Pushed out of there. Stalker. Poor throw there. Just gifted it straight to Roberts. Dixon pressured by him with Sartsos. Davies. An important player. Not on the score sheet, but has been a vital part of that attack once more. And wonderful assist on the third goal. Is trying to get in behind here is Eliza Wiley, but there's two South Hobart defenders to deal with her. Olofsky across. Some King of Lions players warming up ahead of that final. There's Wilson. With a foot in. Charging through. It's Kane. Clerk. Oh, very nice. Isabel de Klerk. Very sharp turn. And plays it through from Wutsatsos. Wutsatsos and Davies. Davies brought down. Referee says, got the ball. He's a little sore after that one. So, Kane scored twice. Set them on their way in this one. And here's Wutsatsos. I've been impressed with her in the second half. She's held the ball up and really the link-up play's been outstanding. Has brought others around her into the game quite superbly. Roberts. Cross for Batchelor. The defender grab a highlight reel goal, trying to chip Ponting, who paws at it and puts it behind for a corner. She's done her job today, Casey Ponting. Certainly not at fault. Fortunate scenes there of Poppy Wood. He scored it off. She'd only just go on the pitch. But nonetheless, looking like being a happy afternoon for the South Hobart women's football team. First piece of silverware. It's been a program that's been building. Instead, Russell taking over the head coaching roles. Craig Westwood there on the bench with him. He's been a big part of it. Massive part. Driving this women's program. I think this will be a chance to reward here. As scrapping away, the final whistle should be imminent. And there it is, South Hobart, Summer Cup champions, defeating the Clarence Zebras 3-1. They had to fight back. They trailed this game 1-0 when Dia Fakaris opened the scoring. It took them a while to get going, but eventually, boy, did they. And it was Mia Kane who struck a ball over the top from Calling Found Kane. She pulled one back. That sent them into half-time, 1-1. And the second half, well, it was all one-way traffic. They obliterated them in that second half, South Hobart. It was dominant. And we'll have a look at the goals in this match. Here is the opening goal from Dia Fakaris. Point the Zebras feeling good. probably shading the contest. Would have been 2-0 shortly after if not for a really good save from Samantha Butler to keep out Ali Berry. And then this really, after really looking like they had no idea how to break them down, just a ball over the top from Cooling. What a great finish that was from Mia Kane. First time volley. Superb finish. That's a really difficult chance, and she took it with aplomb. Buried that, brought them back level, and then the second half. Boy, that South Hobart team that came out of the sheds in the second half. What a dynamic unit they were. They dominated this contest. There was Kane, just getting a little touch on it for goal number 2. That was her second. And really, from then on out, it was an onslaught. It was attack after attack. Bonnie Davies slid this one across. Great composure and a great finish from Talia White. Really super stuff there. Davies picking her out. She finished 3-1. That would be how it ended, but not really through a lack of chances. They had 4 or 5 good looks at goal in that second half. Could easily have been more. And it ends 3-1. And they'll be presented with that trophy in just a moment. And they'll be very deserving of that trophy, South Hobart team. Stick around for the presentation here. The NPL Summer Cup will follow at 3:10 that one now. We've had a slight delay after first game today went to a penalty shootout. This is South Hobart's moment. More people working hard on this program, and there is the vindication. They could be in for a big year. Their first trophy on the women's side of things. They're a club that's well accustomed to winning. There's no doubt about that. And a Summer Cup triumph to kick things off in season 2022. They'll hope the start of something special. No doubt they'll be looking to add a Super League triumph as well. It's going to be a great battle this year in the Women's Super League. And I think we've seen perhaps in the pre-season, South Hobart have announced themselves as the team to beat. And maybe changing of the guard. Women's football here in Tassie. Take a momentary breather. I'll leave you with the presentation of the Women's Summer Cup, where South Hobart defeated the Clarence Zebras 3-1.
Hobart, taking out our Women's Summer Cup. I'd like to introduce Bob Gordon, who is presenting our medals today. Firstly, we'll do our 4 referees. In the middle, Josh Berry. Alex. Xavier Brunel. A 4th official, Arne. And I'll hand over to Lucy, our South Coast captain. Thank you.